Do you have an aspirational project that you've always wanted to do? Not even a specific pattern necessarily, but like a general category? I do. And since tomorrow's my birthday, I'm being selfish today, and we're going to do a roundup of mandala patterns. Hello. Welcome to Bla Bla Black Sheep, a weekly yarny podcast where I, Sarah Korth of SEK Handmade, talk all things yarn. Today we're talking mandalas. This is a type of pattern that I have ogled for years and thought that it was outside of my skill range. But here's the thing I've learned. You don't know until you try. So for a little birthday gift to myself, I decided I'm going to try. As I started looking around, I of course found so many gorgeous patterns that I decided I was going to share them with you. So that's what we're doing today. So let's dive right in and take a look at all this gorgeousness. The first gorgeous mandala I want to share with you is the Spirit Mandala by Tatsiana. This one really caught my eye for all the gorgeous colors she's made it in. It is a free pattern, and this sounds like a truly impressive pattern for being free. It says in the description on Ravelry that it is available in 15 languages. It is available in US and UK terms, and there's a video tutorial, which I'm thinking for these mandalas, video tutorials are probably going to be priceless. All of these mandalas are projects that I would love to make, but I honestly don't have time for that. So I would love to have your help. Vote in the comments below which one do you think I should make. This pattern uses fingering weight yarn, which I certainly have plenty of, but I'll be honest with you, weaving all those ends in on a mandala is not super appealing to me. Though I suppose since it's a wall hanging, you could glue them in place and knot them instead of, actually weaving them in. If you're a mandala expert or you've ever even made one, which is more of an expert than me, let me know in the comments. This next one really stood out because of its unique shape. Most of them start in the middle and go out. This one starts in the middle, but eventually grows out to be worked on one side only, and it gives it just a really unique look. This is the Sun and Moon Mandala by Sanita, Brensone. It is a paid pattern. It is also worked in fingering weight yarn. You're going to find a lot of these kinds of patterns are worked in fingering weight yarn. And the description says that there are lots of photo tutorials, which again, I think would be super helpful. This next one is by Aleksandara Pavlova. And you guys, I don't know if it's her gorgeous pictures, which they're all gorgeous, or her stunning designs, which also true, but I would aspire to make all of her mandala patterns. They are really gorgeous. This is another paid pattern, and it is again worked in fingering weight yarn. There are lots of photo tutorials though, according to the description. Another thing you'll notice as a theme throughout the mandala patterns that I've picked, and maybe it's just what I'm drawn to, but I did notice that quite a lot of them are worked in gradient yarns. So yarns that fade from one color to another. I have a gradient yarn, but I bought it not knowing what I wanted to make out of it. And it's like thousands of yards, which I could make a mandala probably to cover my bed with that many yards. The downside of not having the right number of yards in a gradient yarn is that the color changes last longer. And so if I was going to make it gradiate, I would have to cut that ball of yarn apart a bunch, and then we go back to ends being woven in. This next one is another gorgeous one that I was also drawn to because of the bright colors in the sample. This bright and bold mandala is the Peridot Mandala by Wantuch. It is a free download. I downloaded the pattern. I was really impressed by the organization of the pattern. It's set up in kind of a unique way with lots of tables, but it breaks apart the different rows in a really clear visual way that I think would be helpful when making this. It uses fingering weight yarn, and it has a couple photo tutorials for some of the more challenging rounds. While it may not have super in-depth tutorials, since it is a free download, I think it's very low risk. You could download it, give it a try, and see what happens. The fifth mandala pattern that I picked is the Bloom Mandala. and this is by ChiWei Ranck. I have to admit, I picked this one because I have a good friend who's already made this one. She tested it for the designer and she really enjoyed making it. Knowing that I know someone who made it, I don't know, maybe it's trust issues. It makes me feel good about my chances of actually being able to make it. Now, this is an interesting pattern. It is a paid pattern. There is a link on the listing, but when you click that link, it takes you to a blog post about a grouping of mandala patterns of hers and not to the actual pattern. So you do need to purchase this one. The thing that's very interesting about this is the designer encouraged her testers to make it in a bunch of different yarn weights. And so there are examples of this pattern being made from thread to, I think somebody made a rug. So they use like, I don't know, rope maybe even, or super duper chunky yarn. So this is flexible, which is an interesting challenge, I guess, because there's no gauge, there's no guaranteed size, and you have to make your decision about what size hook you're going to use with what size yarn. I think there's definitely probably a little more playing around that's going to have to happen. And then also some more unknown about exactly how big your finished project is going to be, which if you want to hang it in a hoop, which I think is what I want to do, that may not be the best. Though before I said all of those things out loud, I was kind of thinking I was leaning towards this one. Spring is springing around here, and so I don't know if it's just the spring or, I mean, this is obviously a gorgeous mandala, but this is the Morning Flower Mandala by Kim Bakker. I have shared some of her designs in previous wrap-ups. I still haven't made one of them though, so maybe this is my chance. This is a paid pattern and it has worked in sport weight. So like, surprise, a slightly heavier yarn weight. I think the reason I was maybe leaning away from this is that I don't think I have a sport weight yarn that would be good for this. Of course, you know, maybe I just need to purchase myself a gorgeous gradient sport weight yarn for my birthday, and this is the one I need to make. Let me know what you think. Next up, I have the Chasing Sun Mandala by Evlin Karu. This is really gorgeous. Of course, again, I was drawn by all the pretty colors. This one's going to be a lot of color changes. And I don't know, this isn't a DK weight yarn, by far the heaviest yarn of any of the mandalas. So maybe it would be a good one to go ahead and make all those color changes with. This one is also a free download. I downloaded the pattern just to take a look at it. And I have to confess, I was completely overwhelmed. It looks like a very thorough pattern. They have lots and lots of unique stitches in it, and they've done just a really great job, it looks like, of laying out all of those stitches and giving descriptions of every piece and what it means. So I think if you're going to tackle a more complicated one, this does seem like a really nice, thorough pattern. However, I'm going to say for myself, I don't know that I have the brain capacity right now to tackle a project that is that in depth. Okay, I have to confess for my final one, I didn't even notice that I did this. This is another mandala by Aleksandara Pavlova. I mean, it's just so pretty, right? This again uses fingering weight yarn. It says it has lots of photo tutorials. So I don't know. I'm in real debate on how complicated this is going to be. But I think with amazing, stunning results like these, I mean, I have to try, right? All right, so those are 8 gorgeous mandala patterns, wide range of styles and colors, not so much yarn weight. I will say I found generally in just searching for mandalas, lots of fingering weight yarn, lots of cotton yarn, which also I don't have a lot of cotton yarn in my stash. So help me decide. Let me know in the comments below, which one do you think I should make? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make one of them. And then let me know if you think I should use some stash yarn, which had been my plan, or if I should treat myself for my birthday and buy a little gradient cake just for this special project. Today I'm wearing my Grand Arches shawl. It is worked up in Aquarius Make yarn. I've been thinking for a long time that I should make a solid colored version of this. The yarn is really gorgeous and it breaks up any sort of color pooling that might happen. But one, the yarn dyer is not dyeing anymore, so this yarn is not available. And two, I wonder if the stitch pattern would pop a little more with solid colored yarn instead. Then I'm wearing one of my favorite hoop earrings by Mandala Works. These are just a classic throw on with everything sort of vibe. I wear them a lot. Adrienne, who is the artist behind this jewelry, I have met her several times. She is very nice and all of her work is high quality. Quick announcement. As I've said, my birthday is coming up tomorrow, which means my birthday sale is coming. It is the best sale of the year. If you would like the very best discount, go ahead and subscribe to my email list. Otherwise, head over to my Ravelry shop and everything's going to be on sale, but just for a few days. The sale will run through Sunday, May 4th. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you also for helping me choose my fun little project. I'm going to do one of these mandalas, as I said, and then I'm going to do a pattern review. So I'm going to tell you, how hard was it really? If this is a project that you've been wanting to make, come do it with me. Let's do it together and give it a try. Or I want to encourage you to maybe tackle your dream project that you've been putting off because you just didn't think you could do it. We can totally do it. Thank you again for joining me today. We'll be right back here next week. Until then, happy crafting.